guess we'll call the meeting to order at 6 o'clock. First on the agenda, are there any changes or additions, Dan?
No, there are not.
Perfect. Next, approve the minutes of January 21st, 2020.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion?
Okay.
They were online, I think.
I saw them online.
Yeah, Erica,
Right. But they looked okay online. I think we're all right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So passed. Community concerns. Do we have any community concerns tonight? Looks like not. Move to liquor control. Sarah?
Make a motion to go to liquor control.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are in liquor control.
So there are 3 renewals, the VFW, 55 Consulting, which is Black Cap, and Martin's Food of South Burlington, which is Hanford.
Is there any issues with this, Richard or
No.
Jason? No?
I wasn't sure which one they were, so.
Yeah. Would it be helpful if I put in
Yeah, if you
parentheses?
did, just
Okay.
so I know, but yeah, no issue.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Do I hear a motion regarding these?
Make a motion to approve all 3.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So passed.
Make a motion to come out of liquor control.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are now out of liquor control. Old business. Discuss accepting Gallery Lane as a town road.
So a couple weeks ago, we had the on-site hearing for Gallery Lane. We met with Howard. I think there were 3 members of the board there. And just a general discussion with Howard about the road and what his plans are. It was put up, the board needs to make a decision within that 60-day time frame. So I put it on the agenda. If you would like to accept it, or not accept it, whatever, or if you want me to gather more information for you,
Okay, I think it's premature because we really have no, first of all, there's no deed to it.
Well, I mean, it was something that was suggested by an employee of Howard's, and from my take on it, Howard wasn't sure if he was ready for the town.
Right, he said he wasn't ready.
Right.
And, I mean, we don't really even have any discussion of where they're gonna put the snow and whether,
Yeah,
he's not even sure, so I think it's premature, but.
Yeah.
Well, I also, we have our criteria we set for like so many houses, and this to me falls under a different criteria because it's industrial setting, businesses, and I don't have a problem with it. I think it's, the
Right.
road is in good shape, there's plenty of room, from what Kevin saw, I didn't see anything, dropping out. But Brian's right about being premature, but I think also we need to think about the roads like James Road and those type of roads that don't have houses, and they're not gonna have houses. We need to set up some standards for those and accept them so we can, check, and
Right.
it's good.
Well, once again, it's your policy, if you want to have a different criteria in there for industrial type roads,
That's what I think.
it's certainly, up to you, and you can revisit James Road. It's merely a matter of rescheduling another hearing to go back and do it.
Yeah. What do you think, Eric?
The only question I have about them is the length.
Right.
What was the criteria for the length of the road?
I think it was 5.
I thought it was 500. I don't have it
Maybe
in
it is
front of me. But once again, it's your criteria. And it's your policy on however you would like to do it. And I think that's the things about these policies. Sometimes you put them out and then you go out and go, well, maybe that's not what we really meant. And I think there is a difference between industrial, because the amount of traffic that you will get on an industrial business road than there is on a subdivision road with 5 houses on it, where the traffic is actually pretty minimal for that. And so
Do you see any issues with roads like that, Kevin?
That industrial
Or,
one?
yeah.
Gallery Lane? Not really. I mean, it's, the maintenance on it, the way the road was put in correctly, so
Right.
it's something that we would have had engineered that way to begin with.
Yeah, it seems like, you know, you look at the main things like where Eric's got a place to put the snow,
Right.
stormwater runoff, you know, the grade, the width of the road, you know, ditches, culverts, that kind of thing. But other than that, you know, I don't have a problem with setting up a standard for industrial settings. Maybe, is that something you can work on and we can?
Sure, I think I know what you want. I think really what I can do is probably draft a paragraph for you, just to add in for, you know, commercial or industrial type roads.
Like James Road.
James Road, you know,
That's
Gallery
right.
Lane, you know, because they are different, and the traffic that they generate, and the business they generate is different.
Right, and I don't know if you remember from the meeting, but Howard said he had thought about continuing that road around to meet Stafford Avenue behind MSI, which that'll also change it.
Right.
But I do think it sounded by him that it's premature anyway, but, you know, I don't think it's a problem to add that road, but when it's ready.
Well, that's my thoughts. If he comes back with he's decided to do it, that's when I
Right.
think we should bring it up.
Right.
I mean, I don't see us doing this if he's not sure yet.
Right.
And the other thing at the same time, because I don't know, I can't remember whether it said 3 businesses or 3 dwellings, whether it has to be houses or,
Yeah, I think it's the houses and
but we've taken over other roads. In fact, we take, what he's talking about, the one by Pete's,
Mhm.
there's no houses on it.
Right. Yeah,
And
it's
those-
crossroad.
We've upped it to 5 houses.
I'm pretty sure we did five houses.
Yeah.
So I mean,
It used to be 3, that's right. But this is like a different type of road.
I know you have to have 1,000 feet as well as the distance, so I don't know if 500 feet was the.
I'll have to
mark
look.
on that,
Yeah.
but I'd like to know exactly what those are.
Yeah.
Are we gonna following, with these criteria, are we gonna look at our zoning in town to know, I mean, we have mixed use areas as well, right? Zoning and residential. Or, excuse me, commercial and residential?
There are, but I'll take a look. I don't think, you know, those areas are really prone to that type of development, with the exception of everything where I'd say,
On the opposite side of the airport where that's gonna be.
opposite side of the airport and, you know, north of Tractor Supply out in that area, which is a
Right.
mixed area too.
Right.
But, you know, the one road, I think that's, will be accepted out there, just wasn't ready this time. That was the one that go up behind Tractor Supply down to the credit union.
Right.
And they just didn't have time to get it paved this year. But the last conversation I had with them, we're looking at paving it, you know, in the spring. So that'll probably be ready now. So I think those were the ones, and, you know, I haven't heard anything too much about anything out around the airport in that area.
Right, but they could put in an
They
access
could,
road.
they could put an access road and have, you know, multi-uses, you know, out there.
Yeah. Also too behind Dunkin' Donuts, the property's back there.
Correct.
That may have an access road, it may need to have an access road.
Yeah, but I don't think there'll be any mixed use there.
Right.
I think that's all commercial development, just like, you know, what's there now. So I don't think there'll be any mixed use in there.
I think as long as we're not holding anybody up, and we're certainly not in this case, I don't believe that we can get together and figure it out.
Okay.
So we've got a set of standards.
Yeah, I think we need to bear in mind, when we were talking about stormwater runoff, I think we need to really keep that in mind, given the legislation hitting Montpelier from the ANR Act 250.
Yeah.
That is a huge hot button right now topic, and what are they gonna require for these developments, and as we take them over, now we're responsible for the stormwater.
Yes.
So, that is a huge expense that we don't know what they're gonna regulate on.
And the regulations are tightening all the time.
They are.
Yeah.
And just as a point, moving forward with the sidewalk around the industrial avenue area down Munson, Munson has no catch basins whatsoever, drainage down through there.
Right.
It has the old French drains, which are all pretty much used themselves out. They're outdated at this point, so that'd be something that should be considered before a sidewalk is put in
Mhm.
or done at the same time.
Same time, right? Okay, anything else on that?
So do you want
We
to have
can
a
kind of
motion and then vote it down?
either that, or we can just kind of literally let it die on the vine too.
Yeah, we don't have to.
I mean, you don't have to, you know, if you don't take any action within 60 days, it dies on the vine and we can revisit it later. So
Right.
it's one of those things. I wanted to bring it up for discussion just so I wasn't losing track of it, and you guys weren't losing track of it.
Right.
So just get a feel.
Well, maybe if you reach out to Howard too and tell him we discussed it, and
We're
you know,
just-
we're not opposed to it, but, you know,
My take on his discussion was he wasn't ready for us to
Right.
take it over either.
Right.
it totally sounded like that.
Well, in fact, if he does connect that road around like he was talking, that would be better for us to have a loop road rather than a turnaround.
Right. Okay,
Okay.
all right, next, new business. Approved engineering costs for Mud City Bridge.
So this is the engineering cost. Tyler, you asked Tyler to put together a cost analysis one. The one thing that we did look at that we wanted to try to pull out of this was the hydraulic analysis, because the Agency of Transportation will do those for towns for free. But with free comes the cost of time. And right now, we even heard the other day when we were in a meeting that they're way backed up. So my recommendation is to accept Tyler's cost. It's, you know, from my experience, it's fair and reasonable cost to get this thing permitted and designed and ready to go for construction this construction season.
Yeah.
Is this what you were anticipating?
Yeah, you know, these things are generally right around the $10,000 price range for design and permitting for something like this.
Pretty normal.
Once again, since this is a little bit, this isn't necessarily what I call a planned replacement. So we didn't have, you know, usually we could stay out front of these with hydraulic analysis and have the Agency of Transportation do that for us, but in this particular case, if we waited for the Agency of Transportation to do this, we'd probably miss this construction season. And I don't
What are
think
you
we.
talking about?
Yeah.
State police, like Jack.
Well, the FEMA thing doesn't affect this at all.
I don't think so. I mean, we're gonna let FEMA, let's put it like this, we're gonna let FEMA make the determination if they're going to reimburse us for any cost or not.
Okay, but we can't count on it, for sure.
I don't think it's reasonable to do so, but we'll let them make that determination. We'll present you the facts and see what they say, and I think that's the best thing that we can do. I think we wouldn't be doing the taxpayers of the town justice if we did not, if we just ignored it and didn't at least say, hey, we found this during this, we wouldn't be doing the taxpayers any justice of doing it.
Right.
So,
All right,
If
do
they
we get a
give us-
motion about this?
if they give us 50%, they give us 50%.
Right.
You know, they give us 25%. So,
I make a motion that we approve the $12,500 estimate for Mullen Engineering for the engineering on the bridge.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is passed. Number two, approve loan for the 2019 tandem truck.
just to make sure everybody understands, this is a refinance for the trucks that we're getting ready to purchase. You know, we talked about earlier that we were gonna do these on 5 years. This one, we're refinancing these loans. You can only refinance up to what you can statutorily borrow for.
Right.
In particular, for highway trucks, it's 5 years. The select board has the authority to do. That's the reason why the loans are structured for this. Loans you'll probably be seeing in the future from us will be of 5 years, because that's the statutory limit for the select boards to be able to
That's
borrow. So,
Do I hear a motion regarding these?
I make a motion that we approve the bid from Union Bank on the tandem truck with a total estimated total payment principal and interest of $208,920.94.
Second.
At 2% interest, 2.08.
2.08.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is passed. Next, the loan for the 2019 dump truck.
Make a motion that we approve the bid for Union Bank. Total estimated payout, principal and interest, $170,012.14, 2.08%.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So passed.
We need a, we're probably gonna say the same thing.
this truck in particular was supposed to be delivered Friday, Doug. And of course, that's just a chassis. We want to get it, you know, to the place that's putting the body and plow on as fast as possible. So Sarah's gonna try to get the loan paperwork here for you to sign. Please come in and sign that as quick as possible so that Doug can go pick up his
They'll let
truck.
us know when it's in.
Yeah.
I'll email
If you
you
text
back
us,
tonight.
text me, I'll come in
Okay.
Yeah.
right away.
They're usually pretty quick.
So you just, that note on it, so you'll see some text, we need you to sign paperwork, so we
Can
can
you
get
go
it.
5 or can you move on 3 signatures?
We can move on.
We
3.
can move on 3.
Okay. Next, accept resignation from the Lister Paul Griswold.
Make a motion to accept it with an added letter thanking him.
Yes.
Regret.
Yes,
Yes.
regrets and
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is passed. Next, add a volunteer to the EMS roster. Bill,
Hi, good evening.
how are you?
Ariel Love is a resident of Walcott. She's employed by the Vermont National Guard, works out of their Hyde Park facility. She's a nationally registered EMT, already looking to do the advanced class through the Guard over the summer. She's requesting and has applied for membership on the squad.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Do I hear a motion?
I make a motion, we accept Ariel Love as a new volunteer member from the Morrisville Emergency Squad.
That's all I think, yep. I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's passed. Next, approve the warrants.
Make a motion to approve the warrants.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is passed. Wow, we're moving along tonight. Next, tier report.
Just a couple things for me. The next meeting, just so everybody remembers, is actually Tuesday, the 18th. Monday's the holiday. So, just make sure everybody that we have a quorum. I think we've got everybody here.
Yeah, I'll be here.
I should hear that.
Okay. Just that quick reminder. Last week, Tina, Paul, and I met with the FEMA for their first initial visit. We're in the system, you know, as an applicant for the Halloween storm. Most likely be April, I think is what they said, before we really see anybody here to really evaluate the records, you know, and go through it and do site visits or anything like they want to do. And I think reasonably they said a year before you really expect reimbursement. So just so you know, Tina and Kevin and Paul are putting everything together. I know Tina knows how to do this because she's been through it before a couple of different times.
She's a pro.
Yeah. So, that's all moving along. We're moving in the right direction on that. And we'll just keep moving. We're going to take them out to all the sites that we found damage, including those culverts, and see what they say. You never know what they might say. But just so you know, the process is, we're already in the system, we're ready to go, we're moving forward on that. Dual Handle Act 250 permit has been submitted. It's administratively complete. They are considering it a major project because the amount of fill or gravel will be extracted from there. They do want to do a site visit. So we're not going to be able to really do a site visit until the snow's off. That'll probably be sometime, I would say, late April. They're thinking they may be able to try to do it earlier, but I just know in the weather and being able to get up into that area, it's most likely will be late April before that site visit with the commissioners on site. So, and then they'll have the hearing after that. It's all there. I don't think there's any administrative problems. I think we've done Tyler did a great job of putting everything together for us. We did all the hydraulic analysis that we could do. And now we'll submit everything to the commission and see what they say, or if they want any more additional information. So he anticipates it'll probably be just the one site visit, one hearing. And then we'll go from there. So that's where we're at right now. So it's all moving forward.
So pretty much on the time frame you were thinking it's going to be on?
Yeah, I just don't think, I've talked to Kevin about it. I think, we've got enough sand for next winter. There's some gravel up there, on the floor where we're running now that we
Probably make it work.
we can make it work. And then, even if we get into there and then we can start, because we have to get up into the new area to begin with. There's the old phase that we've kind of already discontinued. So we'll be able to get some stuff out of that. We know there's some material in that area. I think from that perspective, I think we're doing okay on it. So we've got everything ready. I mean, that's, it's tough getting all this stuff together. We got through the notable point is we got through all the state agencies without them saying, everything was blessed and ready to go. So, we're talking wetlands, prime ag soils, fish and wildlife, the historical, archaeological studies.
Stormwater runoff.
Well, we've already submitted a stormwater permit, they've already been up and met with Kevin, they really don't see anything, from their perspective, because it's really the road that goes up to the pit, not the pit itself. So from that perspective, those administrative things that we need to do to get the permit are all in place. Those are usually the things that hang you up with an Act 250 permit. It's not getting to the Act 250 Commission, it's getting to all state agencies and keeping them happy getting there. So from that perspective, I think, it's all there. And all we can do is, just like with any other permit you apply for, see what the commissioners say now. That's the hearing process, so.
Is the town in need of using it now, or are you projecting a year or 6 months?
The sooner we can get to it, the better.
Okay.
Material is there, is some grade, so it's going to take more to get the bulk of the material that we need. We're going to have to use up more of the sub-grade material to get better material out of it, to make better material. So it's going to cost us more to produce the 10,000 yards or so of road sand that we're going to need than what it would if we were in the better area where we could pull out of there. And as far as crushed gravel, I don't know that we'll have any crushed gravel coming out of that pit from where we are right now until we get into the new area.
And the crushed gravel you need in the spring, summer, the summer.
Spring and summer.
Fix the roads.
Correct.
Thank you.
Is that it?
That's it. That's all I have. Just so everybody knows where we're at on those things. We'll keep Tyler moving on the culvert, and we'll keep working through this Act 250 permit process. So that's it.
Okay.
In the light of us closing in on the Act 250 process, one of the things that came out during all the discussions we had here in the community input that I don't want to trip us up is the fact that, unbeknownst to the board, a motorized device has been used to groom the trails up there on our land.
Okay.
I would love to have somebody just take a look around up there, see if there's any evidence of that, and if there is, it needs to end.
Okay.
Cease and desist type of thing, and I don't know that it is this year or not, but I know that it was talked about, that it's been happening in the past, and we didn't know about it. It's a liability to us.
I can ask her. I've got people that Concept 2 use it every day.
Okay.
I can find out.
Could put our permit in jeopardy at this late time, and that would be a tragedy.
Okay. You want to check?
Yeah,
Like that.
All right.
Yeah, people are going out there today. They go out every day.
Every day, yeah.
Okay. Any other questions for Dan?
No,
Thanks, Dan. Select board concerns. Judy?
I have none. I just appreciate being a part of this community and working with the people who work here.
Great. We appreciate you too.
Well, thank you.
Brian?
Have none, thank you.
Eric?
Just to let you know, I met with Buckwheat last week, had a very constructive conversation with him. He doesn't, I don't think he voices any concerns that any other taxpayer isn't voicing this year. The school budget is up substantially. That's got everybody scared tax-wise, and so they're looking at our budget the way they always do. They'd love to see it zero funded, but they know the reality is we can't do that. So I say that, we'll probably hear from Buckwheat. I encouraged him to get to the microphone first, because it seems to break the water, get folks to ask questions, but he was very, very good to talk to him to deal with. So.
Yeah, I give him a hard time, but he's actually a very sharp guy. And, his delivery's not always the best, but he's got a lot of good points. So I respect that.
Just on a side note, that Doug actually went out and got because there's been a lot of discussion about the sidewalk stuff. Doug went out and got a quote for a 2-year extended warranty on the holder. What was it, $1,200?
It's $27.12.
$27.12 for another 2-year warranty on that, on the sidewalk machine.
That's worth it.
Exactly. I've already said we're going to do that. So,
That's good.
And it'll take place, we got 6 months left on the extended warranty now. So I figured maybe go another 2 months and then pick it up right there. So it'll overlap a little bit,
Yeah,
which I don't want to be without.
right.
And,
Well, they won't tack it on to the end of the current.
Well, I wanted to do that at August, but he's kind of, because it's a different company now, it's not the same outfit that they had for the first extended warranty. They had to go someplace else because the first one would not do that. So they went for another one, and that's what they got for a price, was $27.12 change. So it'll overlap a couple months, which if we have to take it back down, like we did before, I think that we won't have any issues about it being down there all summer and into the fall. That isn't gonna happen anymore. I can almost guarantee you that the guy that I deal with now he's on it. Very good, so right now, there's nothing really to do on it. It's been really good. So.
Yeah, the warranties on those
More about it, it's being good.
just makes sense,
So,
Okay. All right, and I don't have anything for concerns. Let's do other business. Any other business anybody has? Go ahead, Eric.
I move to find the premature general public knowledge of contractual agreements with the town's auditor will clearly place the town at a substantial disadvantage by disclosing this negotiations draft.
Do I have a second?
Wake up, Brian.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So pass.
Move that we enter executive session to discuss the town's contractual agreements with the town's auditor under the provisions of Title I, Section 313A1 of the Vermont statutes to include Dan Lindley, Tina Sweet, and Paula Beatty.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is passed. Any other business?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So passed.